want to show some love to Zach Lavine. Zach Lavine on the Chicago Bulls has really been improving his game year in and year out. The last 3 years, he's done nothing but improve himself all around and his all-around game. Like, you look at his points per game. 3 years ago it was 23. The next year he went 25. This year is 27.7. Then you look at his field goal percentage. His field goal percentage was 47, dropped to 46 the next year. This year is almost 50%, 49%. This kid can play ball. Like, he's a hooper. You can see that even judged by like how when they played the Los Angeles Clippers, how it basically came, down to the wire, and certain plays couldn't be made, but just the fact that they had a valiant effort within itself, that was really good. You gotta take your hats off to somebody like a Zach Lavine, because the thing is, the way the NBA is marketed, they do market the star, but it's just like it's in your turn. So like what they do is they have a certain lineup of stars, and they keep them like all like in a clip. Let's just say it's a gun, and they got you in a clip, but you're at the bottom of the clip. You're like the bottom of the barrels. The same thing could be said, like, for instance, you remember with Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard could ball like crazy. I mean, he's been on some questionable teams here and there. He could ball like crazy. He used to get snubbed for everything. All-Star, MVP voting. Then all of a sudden, oh, now we want to show you all Portland's games. All of a sudden, oh, now it's Dame time. He was doing that Dame time stuff when he was hitting game winners, when Deion Waiters was in Cleveland. What happened? The NBA was like, all right, well, now our market strategy is to market Dame. So with Zach Lavine, he's just not being marketed enough for some, regular people to be like, yo, this dude is nice. This kid is nice. This kid is thorough. And I think that is a crime within itself, because, it's become a popularity fest, with the NBA, in terms of like who you're supposed to like, who you're supposed to hate. The NBA is really like driving that narrative, pushing that narrative, making things and things come to light and market things a certain way for you to like that narrative, to like that player, push that player. But and this might be, the marketing strategy might work for them, but it hurts the players in terms of their reputation and what they bring to the table. Years and years and years ago, even when Mike was around, people will say like, I love Michael Jordan, but they'll be like, hey, my favorite player is Eddie Jones. I like the young Kobe, but Nick Van Exel, so that's my guy. Like that. Even though the marketing was like to market Jordan and stuff like that, there was still people that were just like, look, Shaq is my favorite player. I don't care about Mike and all this other stuff. And I know that goes on today, but it's just not as prevalent. Like, guys really fall in that category. LeBron, Curry, Durant, like, just it's a small dose of people that people really like tune into. And then all the guys that are left on the periphery, Dame was on the periphery, he's not anymore, but guys like Zach Lavine who are putting their work, they're not getting that love, they're not getting that shine. Of course the Bulls team, they're not the greatest team, but Billy Donovan just took over. They're 4-7, but they've been fighting and competing in those games. One thing that I think I was really going on to notice with Billy Donovan, he can coach. He's had some like unfortunate breaks, but from what I saw, what he did with OKC, taking the Rockets to 7 games, and also what he did, with Westbrook, getting them to the playoffs with a disjointed team, especially like how they were built. Even when they had Paul George, Paul George of course collapsed, but he put the guys in position to succeed. And what I'm seeing with Billy Donovan and Zach Lavine that I didn't see with the Power Bulls coaches, Billy Donovan is giving him the reins to make mistakes, to achieve, to flourish, to be the main guy. Like he seems like one of those coaches, like he doesn't mind if you toss up a couple extra shots. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wants you to get that confidence. He seems like a guy that It will build confidence in guys, and he's gonna be around a long time, despite the records, because I think he really gets it in terms of how players are these days and his experience. But yeah, Zach Lavine, like, if you don't check out the Bulls, or you feel like, hey, like, I'm gonna go ahead and skip this game, don't. He's a solid player. He has an all-around game, and you know, I think his reputation took a hit because they listed him as a dunker. Of course, he had that ACL injury, but when they pigeonhole a player as a one thing, like he's a dunker, he's a showstopper dunker, you know, some guys really fall into that, and then they kind of ignore any other parts of their game. Zach Lavine is the opposite of that. He's been modifying his game, and it shows. It shows. Hoops Junction, Hoops Meets Hoopla. Like, comment, subscribe.